With a population of almost 8.5 million and over 60 million tourists a year, New York City has a trash problem. We have done marvels, but we have failed. We have failed as citizens, as residents on this planet. These are the sights we see every day, but where exactly does our trash go? Let's take a look.
We're only going to go over organic waste in this video, but for a broader picture, let's talk about the different classifications of waste, which include organic matter, curbside recyclables, and others. First, 31% of our waste is organic waste that is capable of composting. In the composting plant shown, greasy foods cannot be added as the plant cannot break down oily substances and tolerate certain microorganisms. Next is some but not all of our recyclable materials. 33% of waste are actually curbside recyclable materials, including plastics, glass, cartons, etc. Only half of 33% is recycled, unfortunately. Another 10% of our disposable waste include harmful household products like electronic waste that can contaminate our water supply, and plastic baggies in the same 10% that can disrupt marine ecosystems, but on the brighter side, some can be recycled too, and the final 26% is made up of construction materials and other miscellaneous products. We are now facing a pandemic, which caused major budget cuts and changes in budget allocation. According to the New York City Council, the total budget for DSNY in 2021 will be $1.02 billion. Money from this department has been transferred to fund public services due to increased food insecurity. Here are some ways New York City has been attempting to break down waste sustainably. Composting and anaerobic digestion are essential for the breakdown of organic wastes, and certain brown bins help to store food scraps that get collected, but this service and project has been temporarily suspended. Recycling is not operating at maximum efficiency as consumerism and convenience are gold under the eyes of New Yorkers. According to the New York Times, politicians tend to also place economic matters over public services like recycling. The e-cycle program as well as the safe disposal events combat the improper disposal of e-waste and harmful household products. But they still propose risks as many of these items will release mercury and lead into permeable soils. The safe disposal events concern unwanted meds, drain cleaners, pesticides, car oils, etc. that will all be incinerated and buried properly.
26,000 tons of trash a day, 14 million tons a year. Most of New York City trash ends up in landfills in other states. Landfills offer few benefits that do not compensate for the cost. While cheap, landfills are posing serious threats to public health, habitats, climate, and biodiversity. The toxins produced in landfills often make their way to our air and waterways. Landfill gases like methane and carbon dioxide are barely used for energy, rather accumulating in our atmosphere and contributing to the global warming crisis. Incineration is another common waste disposal method, but it introduces its own problems, including a loss of natural resources, discourages recycling, and emissions mean pollutants. Besides the high costs, incineration only accounts for 0.4% of the U.S. energy demand, rendering the method ineffective. Incineration should not be an alternative to landfills as neither method is justifiable, indeed causing more destruction than good. 1 million species near extinction, 46% of trees lost, 75 million tons of fertile soil removed, an increase in global temperatures by 1.8 degrees Fahrenheit. What do these numbers mean? These numbers mean a need for change. What can you do? Some alternatives are plasma gasification and fungal waste management.
Fungi and solid waste management is mainly used for the removal of pollutants. The job of the fungi is to produce digestive enzymes and acids to break down solid waste into reusable organic compounds. White rot fungi, which produces ligninolytic enzymes, are important for decomposing lignin, which helps with carbon recycling. The enzymes used are also helpful for removing pollutants from wastewaters. Marine fungi live in aquatic environments. They are very good at degrading lignocellulose and breaking down herbs. Marine fungi are also helpful in the decomposing of animals. Some fungi grow in extreme environments, which makes them more resistant to extreme pH and conditions. As a result, they are able to decompose in extreme environments such as heavy crude oil. The result of fungi waste management is a safer, cleaner environment.
While a promising alternative, fungal waste management introduces its own problems with invasive species, so there are more reliable methods such as recycling and composting, as well as anaerobic digestion.
Let's talk all about anaerobic digestion. The video shown is from Michigan State University, as this process is rare in cities due to its spacious demands. After being completely filtered from unwanted components, food waste, animal manure, and crops are fed into an anaerobic digester. In this large chamber, microorganisms will strive to feed off of leftover waste nutrients while producing biogas along with it. Biogas is made of a 60% methane, which then travels through a combined heat and power unit to form electricity that powers basic living necessities of homes. Part of which is actually used for car fuel, but that's not shown here. The leftover digestate, consisting of indigestible material, is consolidated in a storage unit and used as biofertilizer. This process is similar to decomposition in nature, except we get to choose where the products go. Outside all of the obvious benefits, the machinery may emit hydrogen sulfide and carbon dioxide if not properly managed. Hydrogen sulfide is known to cause awful odors, while carbon dioxide contributes to our global warming crisis.
There are currently 255 operating anaerobic digesters in the U.S. with more under construction. Anaerobic digestion, while already practiced by New York City, should undoubtedly be exercised more extensively. In doing so, we intend to follow Europe's precedent. Presently, the Netherlands foresees a 16% reduction in carbon emissions by the year end. Projecting in the future, UK's energy consumption tax strives to reduce fossil fuel demand by 25%. These numbers illustrate the success of Europe's anaerobic digestion market, which is expected to reach a value of $8 billion by 2024. Their waste-to-heat market and waste-to-energy market, with a market value of $11 billion and $20 billion respectively, is on the rise, expecting to exceed the U.S. if it hasn't already done so.
Unlike anaerobic respiration, composting utilizes aerobic bacteria. Dried leaves, food scraps, and cut grass can all be used to create compost. Microbial activity is used, along with atmospheric nitrogen, carbon sources, water, and oxygen to aid decomposition of the organic material. As bacteria are natural decomposers, the leftover nutrient-rich compost is placed on flower beds and croplands so that the plants can grow at maximum efficiency. Keeping the pile warm also speeds up decay. Lastly, water, heat, and carbon dioxide are the waste products of the pile. And despite carbon dioxide being a distinct greenhouse gas, its emission is no different from respiration, where waste carbon is recycled during photosynthesis. Next, grub tubs work better in agriculturally rich areas, such as the land of Texas, Missouri, and Iowa, as there are a greater number of farms and thus greater demand for grubs. Grubs are essentially juvenile beetle larvae that have not gone through metamorphosis, so they feed on a variety of food scraps, grass, and organic matter. After grown, they are fed to chickens, which reduces the need for manufactured oat chicken feed.
Recycling is a simple yet effective method of waste management. It is a process that allows new things to be created from used metal, glass, plastic, and paper. On average, 2 billion trees are cut down per year in America. Trees filter out air pollutants and provide a home for animals. With the rising temperature and extinction rates, it is important that we recycle. Recycling just 1 ton of paper can free up 3.3 cubic yards of landfill space, save 17 trees and 7,000 gallons of water, and reduce greenhouse gas emissions by 1 metric ton. All you need to do is spend a few minutes sorting out the trash.
We have plunged our Earth into a state of ruin, but it's not too late to change the course of our future. Our mission is to educate people on the consequences of their actions and choices. We want to secure a better future for mankind and all of our neighboring species that share our home called Earth. Make a difference at home. Recycle, compost. This is not something we can do alone, and we need government intervention. Let's turn away from landfills and incineration in favor of more eco-friendly methods such as anaerobic digestion. As with all issues, we must start small, from New York City's 5 boroughs to the state, to the nation, and to the world. Let's create a ripple effect that starts with you.